fondant figure. Whenever I started making cake toppers, I used to dread it when someone used to ask me to make a figure of their mom or their dad or their brother or their child, because it's so hard to get right. You can easily get it wrong. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you a simple, easy way as to how to make a human fondant figure. It was my nephew's 21st birthday and I created this cake for him and he absolutely loved it. I don't know what to say. So
obviously, I hope you subscribe because I want to be the best YouTuber in the world.
Oh, you're so cute. I highly doubt that. Whatever happens.
You would have to be like on YouTube for like a long time.
Yeah. Plus, you'd have to be really good.
Really good?
Yeah. Really
Which
good.
you are.
Oh, you're so cute.
If you're new to the channel, that's Amanda.
I'm
But
Amanda.
I call her mommy since it's my mom.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, how cute is my little man? Seriously. It was his idea for me to share what I do on YouTube. Can you tell he's excited? So cute. Anyhow, we're going to start out by creating the face. Roll some flesh coloured fondant into teardrop shape and pinch roughly where you're going to place the eyes and mould a nose. Mark where you want the mouth to go and carve out some eye sockets. I've inserted a barbecue skewer here and just dust some skin tone edible dust to give a wee bit of colour. Fill in the eye sockets with white fondant and smooth out. And using black edible paint, draw on the outline of the top part of the eyes. And using brown edible paint, draw along the bottom. It just helps the eyes to stand out. At this point it can look a bit, as though it's going to look like makeup, but it works out fine. It just gives the eyes a bit of contrast. Some black fondant for the eyeballs, or eye bulbs as my children call them. And smooth those out. Once that you're happy with the position of those, paint on with some white edible paint some catch lights. Stick on a small strip of white fondant, that's going to create your teeth, and 2 more strips of fondant to create lips. I'm just dusting on some peach luster dust here to give a wee bit of contrast to the lips. And now for the eyebrows. Create the eyebrows by rolling out 2 equal strips of fondant which are narrow at each end. My nephew is a self-confessed poser, so I wanted the eyebrows to reflect a kind of posy pose. This is what I've done so it looks like he's kind of showing off. Now I'm going to show you a great tip for creating denim jeans, a denim jean effect. Roll out 2 equal pieces of white fondant and use your finger to create a dent halfway down. And use a ball tool to create some holes at the bottom and create some creases in your jeans. And now is the best bit. Use some edible dust to create the colour of the denim that you want. And you might want to put some greaseproof paper down here as this can get really messy. I love using this technique. It looks so realistic. It's far better than just colouring blue fondant. So once you're happy, I've positioned the legs there. Once you're happy with the position of the legs, stick them onto your cake and create some trainers by using 2 small balls of white fondant. Create a sole effect using a knife tool and stick those on as well. And now we're going to create his shirt and his signature black leather biker jacket. So roll some fondant into a teardrop shape so it's wider at the top and create a hole with the ball tool around the bottom. And pinch around the bottom using your fingers. Roll some flesh fondant. This is going to create the neck into a small sausage. And use your fingers to fan out the bottom and stick that on as well. A white piece of fondant for a trim around the top of the t-shirt and insert a barbecue skewer. Once you're happy with that, stick that on. 2 small balls of flesh coloured fondant flattened out with your fingers for the hands. Use a knife to create fingers and a thumb and position these onto your topper. Roll out a rectangle of fondant as thin as you possibly can so you can lift it without it breaking. Hold it against your figure and trim as necessary. Create some stitching with this little tool. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's great for creating a stitching effect. And stick this on. Oh no, I'm just noticed you can see me singing away here while I'm creating this topper. Cringe. Now you create a collar. And stick that on as well. I'm creating some buttons here for the leather jacket. And creating the arms is basically the same as the legs, only smaller obviously. So 2 small sausages of fondant, create a crease in the middle for the elbow using your fingers, a ball tail at the bottom to create a small hole, and we're going to do the stitching effect again with this little tool. Position your hands and then stick the arms on. And paint on your buttons as well. I painted them silver. Create some ears, 2 small balls of fondant. Use your tool to create some indentation to give them a realistic effect. And now for my favourite part, well apart from the face, creating fondant hair. I love creating the fondant hair. It transforms your topper and just brings it to life. So roll out a flat round piece of fondant, create some hair indentations using a knife or a cake tool, whatever you have handy there, and stick it on. Then using a long teardrop piece of fondant, create some indentations with your knife tool to create a hair effect and stick these on as well. And just keep sticking them on until you get the desired kind of hairstyle that you're after. Dylan just came in, so I'm going to wrap up this voiceover now. You want to say something? What do you want to say? Say bye guys.
Bye guys.
Say see you next time.
Next time.
Say please subscribe.
Subscribe.
Bye.